right, here's where I misread the question last time. It gives you f of x plus 1, and it just wants us to define f, just f by itself. So we need to get rid of that plus 1. As a reminder what that plus 1 is, here's the equation that we're working with. It's y is equal to a times b to the power of x plus c. That plus c is the same as that plus 1 back here. That is a vertical shift in the graph. So our c value is our asymptote. That's a line that the equation gets arbitrarily close to but never crosses. So our asymptote for this one, if we look here, oops, erase that little guy. If we look here, it's at y equals positive 1. All right. We know that that line is at y equals 1. And we see here, since it's a times b to the power of x plus c, that plus c is a positive 1. So these are the same exact things, right? If it just wants to know f of x, then we have to get rid of this portion and determine what that equation is. So we move it down to where that would be 0. We want to get rid of it. We want to turn it into 0. So that would be where y is equal to 0. That would be right here. So we want that to be our asymptote. Okay, so if we shift this whole equation down 1 unit, that would be the new equation. So it would get really close to this line right here. We'd shift this down to right here. We'd shift this one down to right here, right? And we would make that new equation. Yeah, ugly line, but you get the message. And this point right here is at 0, 1, and this point right here would be at 1, 3. Right? So whenever we put a 0 into this equation for our x value, we should get the value 1. And whenever we put a 1 in for the x value, so we have 0, 1, and we had 1, 3. So whenever we put a 1 in for our x value, we should get the output answer 3. Well, anything to the power of 0 is 1. So, let's see here. Anything to the power of 0 is 1, which tells us that each of these would be a positive 1. So, this one would be 1, 1, this one would become 2, and this one would become 3. So using that point, we know that C and D are incorrect. Now, which one, when we input 1, is going to give us 3 between the other two? Well, let's plug that in. Plug in a 1 for a 1 for X. And we know that 3 to the power of 1 is going to give us the answer 3, so it has to be B.